How you doing? This is Black Shy Guy here. Welcome to another video, and as always, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you're not a resident of Chi-Town yet, make sure you subscribe. And as always, sincerely, thank you for sitting at my table. We are here to discuss, as you can see from the thumbnail, the episode 2 of The Last of Us season 2 has just aired, and I'm here to give my opinion about it because it started out pretty good. Do I have my critiques about the episode? Absolutely, I do have my critiques. But what I really found out, what they did when it comes to the audience, when it comes to the people who never played the video game, is that they wanted people to sympathize with Abby immediately. For the simple fact that when Abby revealed to Joe that the reason his death is happening is because he killed her father, that was an immediate notification to all the audiences as to why Abby is doing what she's doing, which was pretty interesting because in the game, a lot of people who didn't basically try to dig in and try to find out why Joe possibly died in the game actually found out why Abby killed him almost in the end of the game. You know what I mean? Almost mid through. You know what I mean? That's the only way you found out as to why Abby killed Joe. Everybody was up in arms because they didn't know why this woman killed their protagonist. But in the show, immediately they let that be known. So maybe a lot of people, when it comes to the audience, is going to sympathize with Abby a lot better this time than when the players actually interacted with the game years ago when they found out that Joe unfortunately died. So that was immediate, and that was, to me, very important for Naughty Dog to do, because that was my critique about the video game, is that you didn't give the players enough time to sympathize with Abby. Whoa, I'm sorry about that. And a lot of things changed too. A lot of things changed when it came to the setup to the situation between Abby and Joe, because when the attack on Jackson happened, which basically took the Horde away from Abby and Joe when they were on the run from the attack. Because when Abby experienced the Horde, when Abby was patrolling and she slid down into the ditch where the Horde was basically lying underneath the snow, that's when she started to be, being attacked by the Horde. And in the video game, as you know, most of the Horde went to where the cabin was, where her and her friends was at, waiting for Joe. And let's get this clear, she bumped into Joe by faith. You know what I mean? It was pure luck that she bumped into Joe. But the revelation as to who Joe was when he saved her was immediate as well, when Joe announced his name. When it was very kind of odd to me, because even in the video game, Joe is usually very careful into who he's dealing with. That was another critique that I had in the game. When Abby and Joe started running away from the Horde, the weed that was in the pipe actually notified the Horde that, hey, there's live food in the village. Do you know what I mean? Which was Jackson. So the Horde veered to the left. When another Horde was coming, they both combined and they started heading to Jackson, which was very interesting. And to me, it was very well done, because it actually made the scene between Abby and Joe more significant, because there was nothing else to concentrate on other than the confrontation between Abby and Joe, because Jackson had their own situation to deal with, which was obviously the Horde that was going to attack them. So while Jackson was being attacked by the Horde, Joe was in a rush, and it made even more sense as to why Joe made the careless decision to trust people he did not know, because he was such in a rush to get back to Jackson, because he was looking over the horizon at Jackson in flames, which was very important. It was a very important detail to understand, because a lot of people had a problem in the video game, as well as myself, as to Joe's decision to immediately trust people he did not know, and to immediately get himself involved and put himself in the middle of a crowd of people he did not know, which was very odd. It was way out of Joe's character. But this time, Neil Druckmann fixed it, which was very well done, very well written. I give him credit for it. I critiqued him when it came to the game, but I gotta give him credit here to what he has done, because this is why Joe made the careless decision to trust these people he did not know, because he was in it was in an urgent situation. Joe was being very indecisive for the simple fact that his worry for Jackson overrided everything, even his cautiousness when it came to people he did not know. Very well done, Neil Druckmann. I give you credit for it. So when Jackson was being attacked, that's when Abby started to attack Joe. And it was brutal. Just like in the game, it was brutal. And I think, to me, this was way more brutal than in the game. I can't believe they did it. They actually did it. And it was very emotional. I didn't know it was going to be as emotional as it was in the game. But this was very, very emotional, for the simple fact that it was way more brutal. And one thing I want to say about when Abby started brutalizing Joe is I wanted Joe to stay stoic. You know what I mean? Joe never begged for his life. Joe accepted what was going to happen, because obviously he knew what he did, and obviously he understood, well, I had this coming. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning of that beating, Joe tried to explain to Abby that he did save his life. And I was kind of scared there. I said, no, Joe, I hope you're not going to beg for your life. I hope this is going to kill the character of Joe. And bam, they made it up. Joe said, why don't you shut the fuck up and do it already? That fixed everything. I was happy for that. Thank you, Neil Druckmann, for keeping Joe stoic despite it all, which was very important to a lot of us players who stuck to the game and played it through, despite the fact that Joe's demise came in early, okay? That was very well done. I want to talk about the change also that transpired when Joe went in the cabin to confront Abby, and, well, not actually to confront. He thought he was going for help, but obviously it was a confrontation because Abby knew what was going to go down. The change that happened was Dina this time was with Joe, not Tommy. Dina was with Joe. So when Joe went in this situation with Abby, Dina was the one involved. And the way they did Dina, the way they knocked her out before they started beating on Joe, was very sympathetic. Abby was way out of control, though. Abby was basically threatening Dina from the start. She basically told the doctor that if you don't knock her out, I'm going to bash her head in first. So, obviously, what's her name? Drugged Dina so she can be knocked out for at least an hour, which to me almost took the entire hour for Dina to beat Joe. It was brutal. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Once again, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but it was brutal the way she killed Joe. It's not a critique. It was almost a very important change to what transpired with Joe. When Ellie entered the room where Joe was being beaten, obviously they did everything right. Ellie slashed what's his name in the face. They commenced to knock Ellie to the ground. They kicked her in the ribs. But one thing didn't happen that happened in the game to me that was very important to me, in my opinion. They knocked her out. They knocked her out. The reason I say this was important is because it would have to take hell and earth to stop Ellie from getting up on the ground to try to kill those people who just killed Joe. That's why I say, to me, it was very important to knock her out. She did get knocked out afterwards. Like, she fell out, I believe. I believe she fell out. Maybe not. But she was not knocked out when they left. They left casually after they killed Joe. They left like almost like they were swabbing it away. You know what I mean? Ellie continued to crawl to Joe, lay down next to him, which was a very, very sad scene. It was very impactful. Joe was just, oh. And for Ellie to see that and the way Abby did it, oh. And big ups to Bella Ramsey. She played the part very well. Despite a lot of people, a lot of hate on the internet about her, she's doing the best that she can with the script that they're giving her. And to me, she's doing very well. That scene she played out very well. She played it really good. I can't complain about her performance in that. She crawled to Joe, continued to lay down on him. And what was so very sympathetic about the situation as well is that when she was telling Joe to get up and Joe tried to get up for her, that wasn't in the game. When Joe actually tried to get up for her was so emotional. It was so well done. I gotta admit it, that kind of broke me. Like, Joe seeing Ellie for the last time, and you know for a fact that Joe knew he was done. But the fact that he tried to get up for her was why it was so emotional. It was very good. I'm very thrilled about the episode. I'm gonna watch it again. I would love to know what you think about the episode. I mean, are you continuing to watch the series? I'm not sure if they are worried about the audience that they may lose because they lost Joe. I don't think they should worry too much, for the simple fact that they like I said, immediately threw out the reason as to why she killed Joe. It's because Joe killed her father. So the audience who didn't play the game already, I believe, will kind of sympathize with her situation and as to why she took revenge over everything else. So this is why I don't think they have to worry about the audience being lost, because the audience is going to be glued now as to what Ellie is going to do. That's my thoughts about the episode. This is Black Shy Guy. Make sure you leave your comments down below. Are you impressed with the episode? Are you continuing to watch, or are you going to stop? This is Black Shy Guy. As always, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the episode. And if you're not a resident of Chi-Town, make sure you consider subscribing. I'm out of here. Peace.
Dunking and hitting jumpers, kept Marvin Rich with him. Leo Rose like, why you dump us? Saturday's deposit, chasing SunTrust. Word to Donald that no one will ever trump us. About to put that in my bio.